Welcome to episode 6 of Twilight of the Gods. Now hear of... Yeah, that's the title. I'm serious. Now hear of ... And then that was it.
Perhaps it's to represent this. It's to show the sudden end that comes with Ragnarok. That's right. We're ending this 8-episode series at episode 6.
Of course. All right. So just start before the Netflix logo in 3, 2, 1, go.
So, can things get even more messy now that our good old dear resident trickster Loki is basically now spurned on a civil war amongst the gods of old and new? On the plus side, it means Sigurd gets more of an army. Shame it might literally cause the destruction of everything we know and love. Oh, is it finally time to get perspective from the man himself? Sure would suck if those mushrooms were poisonous. See, we're good friends now that we all hate Odin.
Also remember to have also the collective spitting.
Yeah, this is actually an interesting perspective, though, because a lot of the creatures on the protagonist side are...
I think Jova were not just poisonous.
Don't eat them. Do you know where she got them from?
This is like...
They're literally doing shrooms.
That's literally the gag when I was wondering if the Super Mario Illumination Boy was going to do.
Of course dwarves grew up on those.
Well, a common stereotype of dwarves is that since they tend to live underground, they ferment mushrooms into beer, usually.
Who is this man speaking that has one eye obscured?
Oh, this is the origin story of Conan the Barbarian, but on a ship.
I will say this. One would almost think that this movie is like Giants propaganda, since if anything, the Giants are the closest thing to the good guys in this series. Mind you, again, how the gods handled things were very bad, but let's not forget, Giants typically are not friendly in Norse mythology. Literally better to die than to be into bondage.
Okay, next story.
This is this gonna be a clip show?
Well, not really, because they're not recycling stuff from previous episodes. They're just It's just more of an anthological. It's kind of like one of those Avatar: The Last Airbender episodes where the plot stops for them to just, tell stories.
Oh, true,
So this is
yeah.
basically the storytelling episode.
True. Anthology is a better term, though. To be fair, some shows can legit make a clip show without having to reuse footage. Like, some, like Community, will basically just invent a clip show in the sense that they'll have these throwbacks back to events that we never saw. One interesting spin on the clip show that I really did like was the show called Mike Tyson Mysteries. A long story short, basically Mike Tyson, if it were the Scooby-Doo gang, where basically all the members reminisce about their favorite mysteries, which happen to be clips from the intro that have never really been given full context up until that episode. But yeah, I guess this episode's going to be focused on, again, showing us more of giant lore. Which, again, is interesting to see the perspective from the giants
Also,
who, again...
probably to tell us a bit, how the Aesir tend to be selfish assholes.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'm not too surprised that Zack Snyder would want to go for a story that definitely deconstructs how the gods handled things and how...
This is the guy who
maybe
loved Watchmen to death, so yes.
Yep.
Again, even the fact of the aesthetic of having Belder being similar to Dr. Manhattan probably is not a coincidence.
Wait, you lost Sun and Moon? Well, there goes any chance you'll have of making your money back through second-hand sales.
Oh, here we go. Here's how.
Oh, this story, yes.
Here's how Sleipnir was born, actually.
Yeah, so Odin said,
Yeah.
Loki, I need you to take one for the team to make me this cool, awesome horse that I can ride. So yes, Loki became a horse, and well, this happened.
We needed only in the Zack Snyder production we get to see a Norse orgasm.
I was joking about them actually going into the horse story, but no, there you go. They brought it
Or
up.
you cannot just crush skulls every time something happens. Goddamn.
But it usually solves the problem.
To be fair, at least Loki seems to be absolutely proud of his son. Well,
I
good
love
for
it.
him.
The stoic face he keeps as if he didn't have to take back shots and literally birth out a horse. But yeah, again, he did all that just so
Hilarious.
Odin could have his steed to ride. It's like, Odin, my dude, did you not hear about horse breeding programs?
There's no shame being a bottom.
Okay, suddenly Aegel's getting more aggressive. That's weird.
I
He's
think the
usually
shrooms
been...
are taking a bit of an effect on him.
Oh boy. Imagine if the shrooms let everyone see the story that's told.
Man, this Norse version of Kubo and the Two Strings is even less successful than the original movie.
I mean, it probably still did better than Ben-Hur.
I really need to get around to seeing, I guess, both of those movies. Ben-Hur, a movie that shows that apparently even Morgan Freeman can't save every movie.
I mean, when it comes to remakes of old movies, I argue there's worse, but as Dweebs noted, it's just dull and, nausea-inducing with its motion scenes.
I don't think ever since Gemini Man we've gotten a movie that does that weird frame rate trick, I think.
It's like the 3D craze of the early 2010s, as in TVs with 3D gaming. So, it was just a fad that did not catch on.
The difference is that at least people actually liked 3D. I can't think of anyone save for the directors who legit enjoyed watching the frame rate stuff.
Not for theatrical release, because that's been still used to this day to a lot of releases.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. The messed up frame rate of films specifically.
Yeah, and I was saying that I compared it as a gimmick to TVs that had a 3D implementation that were trying to be commercialized. Again, to quote, Helsing Abridged, no, it's a stupid gimmick and it will never catch on.
Oh, exactly. My point was that I don't even get why the frame rate thing was a thing, because I don't even recall there being a mass love for it at all. Like 3D, at least, there were people who legit enjoyed it. The frame rate stuff, the only people I know who enjoyed it were like either the
Oh,
super sleuth
goody. So
connoisseurs
Egil
or the
was
directors
accused of
themselves.
rape.
Oh, hey, isn't that kind of what we saw happen with him and that blonde duo who he was betting around the start of the series too?
Yeah, there was one way to actually resolve this kind of thing in terms of honor.
Mortal Kombat.
More or less.
So, but instead of using a pistol, they had to, settle with sword and shield.
Don't you know, Tio, as Garbage Pail Kids told us, life was so much better when a man just needed a sword to kill a guy.
Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield. This is a Pokemon reference episode.
It's almost like Pokemon uses very common words found in the dictionary.
For our next Pokemon game, we will use day and night.
Actually,
and after
Wind
that,
and Tempest, whatever it was used,
I meant after that, but yeah. I guess Wind and Tempest is not one you hear about too often.
Well, they kind of ran out of everything. Elements, gemstones, so.
Eventually, they'll do Pokemon Car versus Pokemon Train, Pokemon Land versus Pokemon Plane. He wins!
But I guess because he used that
Fatality.
dagger, he cheated, I guess.
No, apparently, I guess he legit won. Everyone was cheering.
I guess it counts just killing the opponent. But, did not enjoying it.
Yes, by killing this man, you have proved that you are innocent. This is the most logical system.
Truly, this says a lot about our society, and yet
could you imagine? Could you imagine if that's how Ace Attorney dealt with their cases?
Oh wow! Even the fucking reindeers are tripping on shrooms. Okay.
Oh. Watch this be how the gods win. They get us while we're high on shrooms and just kill us easily.
Alright, time for Peter Stormare to tell a story, I guess.
Yeah, I guess this is gonna be the anthology episode.
I mean, again, I don't mind because compared to Greek mythos, Norse mythology does not have, usually adaptations do not have a lot of time to tell about the actual mythos, instead focused on mostly the same thing about Odin and Ragnarok. But,
it's episode 6, which means we'll have 2 episodes left, so I'd probably get it. Maybe get some of the backstory you can out of the way before things wrap up heavily in. At least they have a good enough plot device to explain why we're getting these stories, too.
I guess Ulfro is just coping with some stuff.
Is this a story about hot and cold temperature?
I'm wondering if he's saying he had to...
Yeah, you need to interpret. He used to have a family, got killed, and the whole wolf pelt thing is to, cope with it.
Hey, this is similar to the Wolf's backstory in Metal Gear Solid 4. Kind of implying he may have had to resort to some not so pleasant things.
Just kiss already, god damn it.
I know, right?
Well, no shit.
So, it's the classic story of the warrior who wants to die honorably. Wow, that was a bit of a bummer.
Bad trip, and all. Remember, she's, aside of her tripping, she also still has to grieve about her 3 children being dead.
Because I've lived on shrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh god, she's tripping.
Yeah. Beach with tripping balls.
Someone had fun animating this.
And then their enemy is looking at them. Sir, I see the enemy over there, but I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Okay, I'll be fair. I could see Four being someone who would think it's a little not sporting to attack people while they're like this. Well, actual opponents, mind you, he didn't have problems slaughtering the giants at
And
that
he's
wedding.
now naked.
I guess he wanted to transform again.
Besides, everyone else has kind of left the party.
Bummer.
Hmm.
Alright, I guess it's time for Sigrid to tell the story.
Keyword almost.
I mean, I would also argue that she's a redhead. Maybe her father was also a redhead, when he was younger, but
Possible.
yeah, if you recall, she did mention that in episode 1.
Which again was kind of part of why she left home for a while. Like,
She
they
did
were
not feel like she
accommodating.
belonged.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh
God.
no! Now that's actually a
Yeah.
problem.
Yep, you know what? That's it. I'm moving out. I cannot blame her.
Again, I like this because it has that kind of bizarre quality, but there's a degree of honesty to it, which like it feels strange and yet so real, for lack of a better term.
It's like, I know she's trying to look cool, but honestly, after falling into the literal toilet, who can blame her?
It's like that SpongeBob episode. Are you my mother? No. Are you my mother? No. Are you my mother?
Look,
That's okay. Take your time.
okay. To find my mother, I just need to know who here can handle a giant's meat?
And that's how she found her late-to-be friend. There you go.
And to
Have any of
battle
you
they
enemy
went.
knights seen my mother?
I don't
No!
remember.
Ow! No! Ah!
Dweebs, I don't remember the empty child being this more action-packed.
The empty. Yeah, I remember that part where the empty child just said "fuck this" and got a machine gun, shot
And
at the
this is.
doctor.
And look at that! This is where the show started.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
Ha. That
Would have
was just
sucked if that
show
was an
off.
ally. But yeah. Fellas, find a woman who looks hot even when splattered in the blood of her enemies.
Again, to quote Argus from Azra's Wrath, fight with beautiful woman. So, you fight here often?
Well, actually, I'm kind of new in the neighborhood. Kind of looking for my mother.
So you're telling me that Ridley from Metroid is actually, secretly tied to the Frost Giants?
Yes. He finally found the forbidden magic to alter his size so he could get into Smash at long last.
Wow, that was very quick.
That's quick.
Yeah.
Look, they were
guess
probably very hot and bothered and full of adrenaline.
Yeah, I was about to say, probably the adrenaline of a battle.
Do you really have to aura farm after we have sex?
Yes. It is required, especially for a Zack Snyder production.
Wow, he was so motivated by the sex that he carved her a chair after the deed.
I made you this lovely seat.
Aww.
Hashtag simp.
Boy, that would have sucked if she rejected it after all the carving it probably took for that.
I mean, sometimes you have to try it, regardless of what happens. Sure, sometimes you get the effect like that guy that tried to propose via one of the Spider-Man Insomnia video games and it did not work. But, it's the effort that counts.
Lord. Like, yeah, dedication. I'll give him there. I just hope he took the rejection well.
That's sweet.
As they say, home is where your heart lies. Yeah, of course they banged.
I mean, they were kind of teasing that for a few episodes at this point.
Truly, a poet in bed. Regardless of warnings, the future
No, Jova,
doesn't
this is
scare
Netflix,
me.
on Netflix, not Disney Plus. Yeah, I figured that was the punchline. Only on a Zack Snyder production. Then again,
Very sex.
Netflix tends to be particularly horny even in other places. Like they did promoted like that series called like 365, which is a series about someone getting kidnapped. It's kind of bit like 50 Shades, but even more creepy if you can think about it.
Well, now, this is quite an interesting story.
Oh wow, I guess what you were saying the other episode, Jova, came true.
Yep.
Okay, now we got a threesome.
Not the first one of this series. Everyone is fucking horny in this series, goddamn. Even somehow even more than in the Rebel Moon. Yeah, the deers are still tripping off.
Oh, can you feel the romantic in the air? Best sex ever. Doing it midair.
Just to note, Waves, since you actually are using Netflix for this, do we actually have the rating displayed before, you actually click on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so, no children can accidentally click on this series. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, Hervor. She's still out of it, isn't she?
Most likely.
She is.
So are you ever gonna, clean that blood off, or you just like how the patterns look?
Again, someone has to clean up after the unspeakable happens, Oh, actually, no, Job, I guess you were correct. This is Odin using the Grey Wonder disguise. If that waves look similar to Gandalf, that's very intentional. Tolkien took inspiration from one of Odin's favorite tricks. This guy thing is a pilgrim like this for the character of Gandalf.
But yeah, no, the way that the hood was obscuring his eye.
What the hell are you doing, Odin?
Wow. Why does one of them have to be naked?
Yeah, again, Odin, Wotan, he tends to go around with different identities.
But yeah, I had a feeling it was Odin because the hood was, of course, obscuring one eye that looked like it was covered by like a patch or
I guess
something.
the glowing eye should have also tipped me off. Well, that happened. So, did you
Oh, that
enjoy,
sucks.
Dweebs, did you enjoy the storytelling and the steamy sex? It's not a trick question, I
comment.
assure you.
No comment.
Fair enough.
You know, I'm sorry, you want me to animate what now?
No, really, I did appreciate this episode, not just for telling a couple of the stories, but also I appreciate how this series tends to be relatively honest in their depiction of relationships, including the more, no pants dance kind of deal, because instead Hollywood tends to have it a bit more, like I said in the previous episode, cookie-cutted, for lack of a better term. Hell, arguably even Rebel Moon, when they had their own sex scenes, while still better argument than the average Hollywood movie, it still was a bit confectionated to be more on the standard what Hollywood showcase. While in here, the chemistry between the characters feels more genuine in for me to believe the relationship that they're having, even on the carnal side. So, God, am I turning into Rob Schneider in that movie wherein his kiddie reviews pornos or something? God.
Lord God Almighty. But yeah, I'll agree, honestly. This was not expected, but I do like how this is an episode that lets things calm down, before, of course, spiking back up with Odin's warning. And yes, but I do mean calm down in the sense that everyone really gets to relax, I guess, except for Hervor, who, yeah, she's not doing so well on those shrooms, it seems.
It's probably for the better to not let her instead have,
Sex.
yes, because again, the story wants to build the fact that she's grieving for her children. And she doesn't seem to have, kindled anyone in particular. Again, I think her, interactions with Andvari are more on, just friendship. And again, it's for the better. But again, if the show wants to move that further along the line, I wouldn't really object to that. I'm fine either way.
Which, hey, to Zack Snyder's credit, means that he can indeed have restraint, despite all the holy cow,
I want to remind you, Joe,
steaminess at
that this is
hand.
the guy who in 2009 adapted a scene in Watchmen in which, Night Owl and Silk Spectre do it on the Archimedes airship, and during the climax, someone accidentally hit the flamethrower button.
Holy cow, is he gonna become the Michael Bay of sex scenes or something?
Well, at least it will be, still more, appropriate
Tasteful.
Than Michael Bay, what he did in Transformers 4. Anyway,
Very good point.
enough about that. Tune in for the next episode. If I Had a Hammer. Yeah, me too, brother. I guess.
4, don't worry. I'm sure there was enough hammering done in this last episode.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.